What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Pretty much now we got Dana over here. He's gonna go ahead and help me out right now with the whole timing situation of the long block. So hopefully we can get the motor pretty much timed, ready to set and go, and we can get it in with the help of him. As you guys already know, he came down, I did on the last video, and you guys seen him do his little thing with the automotive anatomy. So now that he's here and I have him here, I'm gonna take advantage of his ass. Not in that way, but anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get busy on the long block. Go ahead and do the timing on it. I'm gonna go ahead and start stripping the timing chain cover, as we're just gonna go ahead and paint it silver and get it all locked and loaded, so that way we can get the motor inside. So pretty much, guys, let's just go ahead and get to it and get things going.
What we do here is go back.
Right, and the block was actually a darker gray color, so he's actually matching it now, because when you like go through hot tank and machine work on the cylinder head, it always comes out that raw aluminum color. So this was super fresh, and then the block was super dark, and he just sprayed his timing cover to get it all nice and uniform, right? So if you look over here how it's all dark, he's just matching it up right now. I'd rather have him spray the engine and all the components first, so that way when we do all the RTV work, it has a fresh RTV squeeze out. If you spray over RTV, it just kind of looks like an overspray ordeal, or people can't really tell, like, oh, you just sprayed over a used motor, you didn't even go through it, whatever, you know. But when you see a fresh RTV, that means it has been opened and resealed, obviously. So once he is done with that, the cast aluminum color always dries really quickly, so we can just work on it like probably 10 minutes. It's a nice, really warm day out, a little breezy, not too hot. So once he finishes that up, we'll get to all the timing components right here. And I don't know if I showed you guys in yesterday's video, but he does have, he does have all brand new guides right here, brand new guides, top, bottom. He has the side, the top one's already on the engine right here, right? So we'll do all that. We do timing chain texture. You're gonna use this teal one right here, or are you gonna use the silver one?
Which one? I'm gonna use the silver one.
Okay, he's gonna use the silver one. So he took the teal one off here. He will get the gasket right there, which also came with the front gasket here. And he's gonna be pretty much just resealing, regasketing this long block. And I mean, for the most part, it's stock internal, right? Yep. So once we do all the timing stuff, he's gonna do valve lash. He did find the filler gauge. I'm just really talking, you know what I mean? And honestly, I'm just here to like guide him. I'm not here to give you guys a tutorial, because we've shown him many a plenty times. Kind of the same ordeal we did with Mario's car, right? The Ronald McDonald car over there. And we're just running him through, make sure he understands how to do all this and just reseal it. The goal is to put this motor in the car today, maybe? Yeah, maybe. So he has everything like I showed you guys earlier, man. You know, clutch, flywheel bolts are on here, remain seals, transmission. And really that's all it is, because everything else that's attached to the long block, you can put it in while the engine's in the car. So the goal is to do all of this, seal that up in the car. That's today's goal. I'm not buying, you get me?
Alright, guys, so we got a coat of paint on it just to match it up a little bit. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I gotta do the transmission still, actually. Shit. So let me go ahead and do the transmission real quick, that way this can get done, and then either way, that way it can be.
Spraying the trans too?
Yeah. Same color.
Fire out here.
Yeah. Well, I want it to all match. So, yeah, let me go ahead and do that. Let this dry for now, and then let me go do the trans.
Yeah. So pretty much TDC cylinder 1, right? And you know, normally I'm not just gonna tell you like, oh, it's cylinder 1 TDC. Like I told you, this will verify the pistons on the top, but you still gotta verify that you're lined up on the crank, so that way you know that at least it's on the right tooth, right? So tear up in about. Anyways, on the block itself has the arrow.
Yeah.
That's your TDC mark. And then on the key, damn, she look brand new. on the gear itself, there's also a mark there, right?
Okay.
So TDC, it's gonna have a little play.
Variation of it.
Yeah, cause you can turn that shit and line it up, and that thing still wouldn't move, right? So the thing is, I want to show you real quick. On that tooth, you see that single dot?
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be one of your point of reference, which is gonna align your TDC from the bottom to the top, which you can see up here.
Okay.
Also has its own dots, one right there and one right there.
Okay.
So right now, if you look at it standing straight, obviously it's gonna look a little crooked, right?
Yeah.
You're still gonna play with it. So normally this dot would line up with this arrow on the top here. So we're definitely gonna be moving around because you can see how this is crooked as well.
Yeah.
So when you turn it, it's gonna straighten out, and then that's gonna line up to that arrow.
Okay.
Normally, I'm gonna tell you right now, normally on a stretch chain, like a slightly stretched chain, and you still put it to TDC and using that stretch chain, that shit is never gonna line up, right? But if you use a brand new chain, it should line up almost near perfect, right? So right now, currently on TDC cylinder 1, your arrows match up to the arrow that's on the block from the sprocket, right? So before you even put the chain on, you got to have your guides on, because this is a little bit different than B series and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and install your guides. So you're gonna do both of them. You're gonna do this one with the Allen, and then this one has 3. You have 3 bolts for that one? 3 10 mil?
I'll grab them.
Okay. So you're gonna put all that on first, and then we'll get into the bobber thing. You know what I'm saying?
Just had that one.
Oh. Protect it up with it. Mine's on the lap, so you can't hear anything. Yeah, so now you get the guides on, right? The next thing here would be the chain. And then once we TDC the chain from the sprocket to the cam gears, you got to get really ready. It makes it easier to do with 2 people because you got to hold it together. And there are tools you can lock it in place, but you know what I'm saying? Like this is probably going to be one, hold on. This is going to probably be like a one and done for you unless you do it again later down the road. But on the chain itself, I don't know if you ever took a look at the chain. There are links to it, right? So you got a single link and then you got a pair of links, right? Pair of links right here somewhere, right? You see black, black, and then you have the single black on the bottom. So this is OEM, right? So if you've ever seen an aftermarket chain won't have
the dark links.
They have dark links. They always do. But they don't have one dark link. They have a dark link, and the dot goes in between. On an OEM, it actually goes in between
the dark link.
The dark link. So this is the double side. So dark link, dot goes in between, dot goes in between. Exhaust intake, single link at the bottom was that single dot that I showed you here, right? So the way you do this, you do it from the intake side first and going up because this is stationary. The tensioner is going to be on the loose end side, which is the exhaust. So what you do now is you get that single link. That's why I was asking you if you had a flashlight, because it's going to be kind of a little tricky to see, right?
What's in here?
Is it magnet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that single link goes in here.
The one
that single dot. Yep. And then you always got to keep an eye on this because if you're
single dot or is it the line right here?
You see that single dot right here on the gear?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And this side is going to be loose, so you're going to have to like just keep your thumb on it or something. You know what I'm saying?
So this will go right there in the middle of it?
Yep. And then this is going to run along the guide, right? So it's all good. So something like that.
And it's going to go over here?
Yeah, this is going to go all the way up to the top. Have to bend it out to kind of slip it in between.
Oh, cool. Move.
Yeah, that's a tricky part. I don't remember. This is a brand new guide, so it's a little bit thicker. So I don't know if you're supposed to
leave it loose a little bit.
Leave it loose a little bit. Right. You can just hold it up tension like that. And I forgot how I did this. I've always used old guides, so.
Wait, is the guide keeping from going?
Yeah, because the guides are actually brand new.
So maybe for loosening it.
Yeah. So this is why I like, you know, I always keep the impact on the deck. You know what I'm saying? Quick.
10 millimeter, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So. Right, you just slightly move it out. Right. I mean, technically, you don't really need this on right now, but you can still slip it through. right? So
you have to move it, right?
Yeah, so you're gonna have to move it because right now we're currently aired off. This is what I'm talking about as far as like it'd be better to have 2 hands on deck instead of
for sure.
Yeah. So
get back aligned again.
Yeah, get that one back aligned again, and I'm gonna lock this one in place.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna slide this on the tensioner, right? Run it up. I'm gonna put this just one in for now.
It's not on, yeah. There you go.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta lean it out like that, yeah. Right. When it's an old guide, it's easy to do because it's already kind of worn down. Right. That's just to hold it in place. So now, you know, keep that tension on there. You know what I'm saying? And I put that dial. Take the 17, and you're gonna turn that crank, get it somewhat aligned, close to the arrow, to the one that's up here. Where's it at? Right here, the dot. So I'm gonna rotate it, and this thing is gonna loosen up a little bit. Oh shit, it's not. Why is it so far off? You installed that. You installed that, right?
Yeah.
That's just going hell.
That should just move again.
Yeah. Because you gotta keep it slacked out this way. Okay. Otherwise, the teeth is just gonna catch it. Yeah.
Right. Pull it up.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Again, it's so damn tight that it's catching it.
Yeah. I'm gonna take these off.
You can technically leave it on here. I'm just kind of confused about why you can't lock the pins in this place. I wonder if the RBC is installed
different,
like on the actual pin. There's a pin inside of it that's supposed to hold it. So I'm trying to rotate to see where it sits. Okay, hold it. See where the link's at. Links. So they gotta go like 2 more tooth. So I'm a little confused because the more I'm turning it, the more it's going off.
Over there?
Yeah, the alignment. Black link. That's black link. Okay. Yeah, hold it tight because it's gonna want to keep springing back.
It's calling out.
This is bad. Right. So you get that link on. This one's on. Oh, that shit lined up. So now you just see how you just did that. So now you just pull this over and lock that in place, right? And most people will zip tie it right there, just to hold it into place. Right. I mean, I'm holding it for you already. So yeah. So now you get the 2 10s. Put that on. You don't have to pull the pin yet. Just go ahead and put the 10s on. Sure.
I like the thumbtack. Okay. There's a thumbtack holding everything in right now.
Oh, that little thing? Yeah, no, it's supposed to be there because you gotta put it, once you get everything, then you gotta crank it down. It's like a click, it gets tighter.
Okay, so you can hand tight that after. Right now, if you look, that is literally almost in line. Well, technically it is in line with the arrow, right? And then before you even shoot that, you want to make sure it's all good and dandy. Black link to dot, black link to dot, hyphens in the middle, somewhat lined up. And then it's going to be hard to check here.
It's here.
Yeah, so, you know, if everything looks all good, you pretty much just release the pin and it'll lock it into place, right?
I was gonna ask you before.
Yeah, so that's what I was looking at. But if you look, it is definitely not pushing down on the valve as if, you know, it's like off position. But I'm just hella concerned about why the heck is that not in the alignment hole. Yeah. So what I like to do, extra, normally, you know, this is like a self-tensioner. You know, while the engine rotates, it's gonna click and lock it into place. But because it's like a performance car, I like to make sure that it's locked in, so you can get a flathead and you can pry the guides a little bit to get a little bit more click out of it, so that way you know for sure it already tensioned it. You already manually tensioned it.
Now I gotta tighten this one, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's flat, it's fine. You can just torque it after the fact.
Tighten it here?
So, so with this, you can just, you know, right here between this big ass block, and just like and like pull. You got a bigger one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just slips around. Yeah, so you just take this, pry it against the guide, and normally on a new, I use old guides, so I can probably get like 3 clicks out of it, but this is new guides, new tensioner. You can probably get like another 2 click, maybe 3 out of it. 1, 2, 3, and 3 is perfectly fine. That's just hella tension, right? I mean, I don't know, you might be able to get a 4 out of it. Yeah, probably get a 4 out of it. And there you go, tighten it, right? And then I always like to double check, right? So you get this.
All right, guys. So as you guys seen, pretty much everything is set. It is on TDC, so it is good, pretty much to go. We did make sure that it was all locked in. Sorry for the light that you can't see because this stupid camera, for some reason, is just not focusing. But everything is fully done on the timing side now, so it is TDC'd out and ready, all torqued down to what it needed to be. So huge shout out to this guy.
We learned something new today too, though, because these were the cams and the cam caps that came from Project Blueberry. Bryan did end up switching the 25 VTC for the 50-degree VTC.
Which was these?
Yeah, so when you take them off, they do end up becoming a little loose. You can turn it by hand, and once he put the RBC 50-degree on, it was still loose, torqued it down, and we didn't actually lock it back into place yet. So we did the timing earlier, and we realized that the cam was actually it was TDC on the cam, but the cam shaft itself was off. So made some calls. Shout out to Nomus Industries. He kind of enlightened me on the VTC to take off the chain itself from the timing and lock the VTC into place, and then redo the timing. And when we did that, everything ended up lining back up like it's supposed to. And then we pretty much redid the timing, and now it's pretty much ready for before the reseal. We're gonna do a valve lash real quick. May as well, since we're already here. Cams are from a different head. Cam holders are from a different head. All new timing components. It's best to just check it while the valve cover and everything's all off.
For sure. So yeah, next move is we're going to go ahead and do the whole valve lash to the valves, make sure all that's good, and then from there we're going to go ahead and silicone everything with some Honda Bond and make sure everything is all fully done and sealed up. So
Honda Bond, not black RTV, okay?
Yeah, bro. At the time, that's all I had when I did all that together, so it is what it is.
Can I pet that dog?
So all you want to do is pet that dog, but you know, we made sure we are good, so now we do have Honda Bond. But again, so yeah, let's go ahead and get the valve lash done so we can try to see if we can get this motor in still before the meet, the pop-up meet that we're gonna have.
What's up?
No.
It's still zoomed in.
Obviously, when you're new to this whole entire thing, if I wasn't here, you'd be doing your research, right? Yeah, so you can go on the interweb, you can go and look at what specification is K20Z3 valve lash. And then a bunch of threads will pop up. Hey guys, what's the K20Z valve lash specifications? Normally I can set it on the lowest between the service limit, right? So I think for the intake it said between 8 to 10.
Filler gauge.
Yeah, 8 to 10. But I always like to do it on the lowest, right? And I like to check the next size up. So if let's say we're on the exhaust side, the exhaust is calling for like a 10 to a 12. I always do it on the lowest setting, which is 10. And then I always double check with an 11 to make sure that we're snug on 10, right? So you have to put cylinder 1 to TDC. This is why I think it's a good time to do the valve lash after doing timing, because you're already on TDC. And then the order operation is you do cylinder 1, 3, 4, or sorry, yeah, 1, 3, 4, 2. And after you finish 1, you always rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, the way the engine rotates, and then you do the next one. The easiest way to tell to make sure your valves are closed is you can see the lobes are sitting on the top. If they were sitting on the bottom, you'd be pressing the valves to be open, right? You want it to be closed when you do it. So, what did I say? 8 and 10, right? So we're doing the exhaust side. It's a little bit different than B series. B series, you check valve lash between the roller rocker and the camshaft itself, right? This is where you check it on the B series. On the K series, you have to check it between the top of the stem and the rocker itself. So right now I have a 10. So if you want to look down, because you want to make sure you stick it in the right hole, you feel me? You have to go between here and the top of the stem right here. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah. And right now it doesn't show that it's going in because that's how tight this one is right now. And that's what I was explaining to you guys earlier. It's always going to change when you start changing like brand new timing chain, different camshaft, you put valve springs, retainer. Everything's brand new, everything's tensioned. you know, tighter than what it was when you first started. So if you look on this side, this one's looser because I'm able to stick a 10 barely in it, right? Barely. So that means this one's way tighter. This one has to come back a lot. This one has to come out just a smidge. Now because you don't have a tool, case here is 10 mil, and use a flathead, you put it on top, right? So you put the other one, open in. I don't know, flip, yep. And then put the flathead. The flathead is to hold that screw into place because that's the adjustment screw, yeah. And this is supposed to be torqued 40 foot-pound, guys, just so you guys know right now. So now you just kind of loosen up the pressure because I can see the vein popping out your forearm, right? We need to loosen it up. So we're trying to get it to be a snug 10.
So come up.
So come up so that way I can slip this in, right? So keep going. See how now we're going in? Keep going. Yeah. Let's go. A little bit more. Okay, that's a snug right there, right? It's super tight, so maybe pull it back a little bit more. All right, you want to be able to slide it. That's a snug. That's what I consider a snug, right? So, okay, maybe just go tight it just a little bit right there. Okay, a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, right there. Okay, so I need you to feel it, so that way, you know what a snug is, right? You should be able to just slide it. You shouldn't be putting any pressure here either. Yeah. So kind of feel how it slides.
Oh yeah.
Right? So when it's like a snug like that, when you feel the drag on the top and the bottom of the feeler, then you lock it in place. Now when you lock it in place, you got to make sure you lock that in the same position and only the nut is moving. Right? Yeah, that's about 100 pounds with that big ass arm of yours. So go ahead and pull it back and then you double check it. Take everything off and you double check it, right? So 10 slides nice and smooth. Right, feeling that little drag, and then to make sure that it's a nice snug tug 10, I double check with 11 next size up. If 11 doesn't go in, which it doesn't, that one's gold. You know what I'm saying? So that's why earlier I kept out the 10 and 11.
Oh my bad.
Yeah, no, you good. You Gucci potatoes.
11 right there, and then
yeah, and that's why I kept these two out because these are for the. Alright, so we don't worry about that right now. Well, technically you need to worry about it because you're doing one cylinder at a time, intake and exhaust. So. The intake was an 8-9, so let's keep the 8-9 outside, and then 10-11. So I normally put like a rubber band, you know what I mean? Like I do this so it doesn't go all the way back in, right? So that way you can just do this all the way, and it's still there. Makes it easier, right? Or you can buy the long single angle ones, so you only pull the ones you need, which I've been too lazy to buy. But anyways, this one over here, both sides, right? See, it's tight. That's when you loosen it up, and then, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and let you do it. Right.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, that thing is on there for sure. Right, loosen it up. Right. Flathead. Oh damn, somebody's eating a dog. Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog?
Holy shit, bro.
Sorry, I had to.
So it's in between, you said, right here, right?
Yeah.
So this one, okay.
Yeah. See how it's like hella tight?
Yeah, so now I'm gonna go ahead and
Get up
open
just
it
a
up
smidge.
again.
Here. See, with the tool is easier because you don't have to carry two tools in your hand. Because the two tools are tied together, you just let one go and let it hang while you adjust the adjustment knob on the top. It's not even a knob. It's a set screw. I think. I'm making up terminologies. My dumb cousin said, if you graduate from high school, you can make up your own words. I said, okay. But set screw is already an existing word, so it makes sense. And it fits the description.
It fits like this, huh?
Yep, you feel that little snug on the top and the bottom of the feeler gauge, right? If you feel like, okay, might be a good snug, then you lock it in place, right? And then you double check it with the 11. Just trying to pet my dog, man, because I can't pet my cat no more. I mean, I can when I get his urn back, but you know, that's about it. Hey, buddy. Get that houndabound? Can I pet that houndabound?
You guys want Papa?
Jollibees.
There's no Jollibees, huh?
I know, but you just pretend it's Jollibee. Just go buy KFC and just be like, hey, Jollibees. You owe me a pie too. But anyways, so Slimeball is putting all the RTV onto the cylinder head and block, and he's gonna go ahead and install the timing chain cover because that is ready to go on. He did get all new hardware right here. Unfortunately, not all of them. So there are 9 brand new here. We have 1 shoulder bolt right here. We're missing 1 shoulder bolt, and that makes it 10. He needs 14, so he's got 3 here. Just 1 more, and then The VTC has its own bolt hole right there. So he's gonna do all that right there, and then, you know what I'm saying, we'll slap everything all together.
All right, guys, so pretty much now timing chain cover's on, crank pulley is on, pretty much everything has been set. The only thing we're leaving here is just a little bit of, we're gonna leave the room here because of the fact that I still gotta get the drain for the turbo and everything, so that's where we're gonna be running it at. So pretty much the long block is pretty much already assembled, it's already timed, valve lash is already done to the exhaust and the intake side. So everything is pretty much good to go. So we're losing a little bit of daylight here to be able to head out to the meet that we want to host for the little pop-up meet. So we're going to hold off right now. I'm going to go ahead and close up the garage, and then probably tonight we'll continue and hopefully get the motor inside. So we still got to put the clutch, flywheel, and everything on and torque it all down to make sure everything is locked and loaded. But you can see pretty much everything is going good, going smooth, and now it's just time to basically bolt everything up and get it into the engine bay. So we'll pick back up when we get back and we get the engine inside of the engine bay. Alright guys, so pretty much it's been a struggle to say the least. We don't know what the fuck really went wrong. Sorry for my language. It's 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning, and it's been a crazy night trying to get this motor into its correct location. Apparently it looks like it needs to be on the low setting, and we were fighting for the high setting, but we had some issues with the clutch, trying to get that aligned real quick, but other than that, it was just mainly trying to figure out the situation of where it actually went on the motor mounts. But we got it through it, and it was a mission.
Yeah, it was just a combination of like so many different things, you know, like off-brand motor mounts. You know, motor mounts have a lot of play. You know, they always come like sometimes oval, so you gotta like shimmy it. You don't want to shoot the bolts in super tight right off the rip, because you know you don't need to either shimmy it left or shimmy it right. Also, the S1 rear all-wheel drive mount. You had the motor set in here before without the mount, so it fitted before, but it never actually fitted at a 3-point
locking position.
You know, locking position. So this whole time we were thinking that it was supposed to be on the high setting, and then realizing after setting it on the high setting with the bracket now in place, it was like overhanging on the top of the mount, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be on the lower mount. So we fought to put the lower mount on, and got it on, and then man, the rear mount swung into place, and you know, now it's hung on its own 3 motor mounts, and I don't know. What's the next step here?
So the next step for me, because my back is killing me, I'm old, and yeah.
Oh, you're 24. Quit playing.
I'm gonna be heading to bed, so pretty much I am gonna cap the video here. We're still gonna be doing a little bit of work on the next day or so to the remaining car, but for this video I'm gonna cap it out here, and we'll probably just continue it either tomorrow on what else we need to do.
Some other big stuff we got to do tomorrow, so we're trying to knock out a bunch of stuff before we head back up north. You know what I mean? So we got a lot more in store tomorrow.
Yeah, so pretty much, guys, you know, as you guys can see now, engine is in, trans is in, and now it's just pretty much starting to put everything back together as we piece it back together. Still waiting for parts to arrive, you know, gaskets and stuff like that for the intake, and then also, you know, for the exhaust, the turbo manifold gasket and all that. So once all that arrives, we'll put the turbo manifold on, put the intake manifold on, and we'll start pretty much wiring, putting everything back into its location where it really needs to go.
Now that the main thing is in the bay, it's just literally all the accessories and little things, you know.
So there you guys go. I know it's a long video because we did record a lot of it, and a lot of it is on a time lapse, so or fast forward or whatever you want to call it.
I just hope Brian clips a lot of it, because there was a lot of
booty cheeks,
a lot of unfiltered stuff. So
yeah. So yeah, guys, pretty much with that being said, guys, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
With that being said, guys, always remember, progress is better than no progress.
You said it. See you guys next time, guys.